right, all right. Yes, sir. Welcome to the Bread and Hover Show. This is your boy Bread. Yeah, it's Hova over there with a cup in his hand. I'm not gonna ask him what he got in there. 9 times out of 10, it ain't water. So yeah, not aqua. It's not aqua.
Yeah, man.
He got something in there. I hear some ice cubes and something else. Welcome to the
Just
Bread and
drinking a
Hover
little.
Show.
Yeah,
What you got? Drink a little what? What is it? Drink a little what?
just drinking a little cheap, little tea. That's all. Little,
Oh, okay. All right.
yeah,
Yeah,
some
that's
tea.
a new thing now. How much proof in that
Mm.
tea? How much proof in that tea?
Oh man, that's a good question.
Ah,
uh,
everybody, thanks for joining the Bread and Hope Show. We are here every Wednesday night from 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. ish, based in Atlanta, Georgia. We talk about sports primarily in the state of Georgia, around the Atlanta area. But look, wherever you are from, feel free to be part of the show and speak on it. Hover, what you got?
yeah, just want to go in and give some shout outs. Dirty Bird Nation, NFC South fans, Falcons first and 10, the Hand Sports Show. Lou will be joining us. Mo Brown Sticking Sensation, and Atlanta Old School Drummers.
Yes, sir. How's the weekend, Hover?
Weekend was good, man. My sister's birthday was this past weekend, so
Shout it out,
so
man. Shout
uh
it out.
yeah, so give a big shout out to my sister having a nice birthday. So yeah, man, spend time with her. That was pretty much the highlight of my weekend. How was your weekend?
Man, it was good enough right there, man. Oh man, just taking it easy, man. Trying to keep the chops, like you said, the sticking sensation. We got some gigs coming up with AOS. Juneteenth is around the corner, so we got to get ready. You'll see us if you're in the Atlanta area at Marietta Square. The NAACP chapter up there will be sponsoring a Juneteenth celebration, and Atlanta Old School Drummers will be in the place. And so I got to keep my wrist in shape.
Cool,
So yeah,
cool.
and I enjoyed spent some time on the Enhanced Sports Show with Lou. You'll hear Lou later on tonight. Had a good time with that game, and we had good talk going on. So we're gonna keep that good energy going.
That's what's up.
So we got a lot to talk about tonight. We're gonna talk about World Cup. Most of this thing's gonna be we're gonna talk have a large or a rather well, let me put it this way, a rather healthy conversation about football, not American football, but the original football, global football. We're gonna talk about that, and really, we're not gonna get too deep into it unless Hobo want us to. But we just want to, it's gonna be all over the country. It's gonna be all over, and so we just want to make sure that we keep it simple and fun, so everybody can kind of understand and enjoy it while it's here in the states. So we're gonna talk. We're gonna have a nice, healthy, casual conversation about football, the world's game. But before we get into that, Hover, uh, it's good. Look, man, shout out, congratulations to Georgia Bulldogs baseball. They defeated the Mississippi State. I refuse to call them Bulldogs. They the Mississippi State Dogs. And and so it was the super regional, beat them 2 out of 3, 2 straight actually. Some exciting games from those Bulldogs, man. It's an exciting team to watch. So for the first time since 2008, Georgia Bulldogs going back to the College World Series in Omaha to face Texas this Saturday night. I think 8 o'clock, 8 or 9 o'clock this Saturday night game. So congrats to the Bulldogs, Hope, the baseball
Yeah,
dogs.
congratulations to them, man. They yeah, man, they've been playing their asses off, and now they get a chance to play for the championship.
Yeah, man. So they holding it down. We was hoping that Georgia Tech was going to be part of that, but sometimes you it just don't fall in. Baseball
Just
is
don't.
funny that way. Yeah, you
Yeah,
have a good record, but your record means dilly squat in the
yeah,
postseason. So you
yeah.
got to
This is
find a
true.
way to stay consistent. You got to
This
do
is
it.
true.
Got to do it, man. So congrats to them. And we playing Texas. Texas is a really good team, a really good squad. So we just hope that we'll be able to go ahead and make a good showing against those guys and keep it moving in Omaha. Let the good time roll.
Yep, yep.
Um, yeah. So just real quick, and it's not on the notes. Just real quick, Hope is that I know this whole thing with this Texas Tech quarterback issue and the gambling thing is really getting out of hand. It's like the whole world against Texas Tech, and Texas Tech is pleading everybody talking about, well, he's got a problem. He's got a sick. We want everybody to feel sorry for him. Nobody's feeling sorry for you. You're grown. You nearly a grown ass man. You know what you did. You gamble on your own against your own team. You don't do that. You're not supposed to play. You shouldn't play. And so Georgia AD just rightfully came out there and just said they're protesting the process. Somebody's got to call the shots the right way in the NCAA, especially NCAA football. So it's like, look, Georgia, we're not going to play Texas Tech. You got to get your act together. NCAA's got to get their act together. And he tried to keep it PC and say nothing bad about the kid or this, that, and the other. But look, somebody's got to make the right call, Hover, in terms of this. And so Georgia's like, look, don't even think about calling us and entertaining a game where you got this kind of stuff going on in your program, where you will allow this. So we don't know, and we're not saying that we're perfect. I'm not saying that, but this is blatantly wrong. Everybody knows what the kid did. Shouldn't be playing. Simple as that. So that's my little 2 cents on the whole.
Yeah, man, I agree. I agree 100%.
Yeah, yeah. So this is what we're gonna do, man. Real quick, we're gonna talk about basketball a little bit later, but I did want to address uh fandom and fandom conduct. There are limits to this thing. There are rules to this game as fans. And I tell folk, a lot of people who go on vacations and stuff, everybody pay their money, but some people feel, feel like, they're owed something because they spend their money for vacation and cruise. And so that gives me the right to act like a fool. And so, you got fans. Of course, you lost the game. I mean, everybody loses games, but you got to know how to take the losses as well as you take the wins. And I get a little jeering and booing. That's fine. All that stuff. But, New Yorkers, I saw some videos that was unsavory. People wearing the jersey. That's Spurs. They supporting their team like everybody else supports their team. They won a game, they happy. And so there's no need to, get into physical altercations with people on the street, just because you got numbers or because you're upset that you lost the game. That's not going to change the score. That's not going to change the outcome in any kind of way. So people got to know how to conduct themselves. I remember when Trae Young, when the Hawks played New York, and it's a big win for us. We beat New York in the playoffs. And the fans spit on him. And so it's like, hold up, man. Come on now. So that in that situation, the fan was banned for life, which rightfully so.
Right,
You're not a fan. I don't know what you are, but you're not a fan.
right,
Nobody needs to be doing that stuff. I'm very passionate about my teams too. I'm passionate about the Falcons, but I ain't about to swing on no Saint fan. I got friends who are Saint fans, so I'm,
right,
I'm not going. I'm not going to swing on it. You got to know where to draw the line. Yeah, we're gonna talk hot trash, but you got to know where to draw the line, and you got to know when to say when on this kind of stuff, man. So I think that you know. The fans were out of pocket for just putting hands on people, man, for whatever reason you thought was justified. And we'll talk about some other Nick stuff later on when we get to that segment. But I just wanted to bring it up. Hope I don't know if you saw anything on your end.
Yeah, I did see a video where a Spurs fan was being attacked by Knicks fans, um, which was it was pretty bad. I think
Yeah.
they were. I mean, they were, in my opinion, they were acting like animals.
Yeah. It was
Like they
bad.
just didn't have no kind of uh, just
Coast.
no kind of just no kind of control or anything. Just like a bunch of pack of wolves just out here just going crazy. But I don't,
Yeah.
like I said, man, I agree. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a game and sportsmanship. But unfortunately,
Yeah.
there's fans, and you know this. I mean, some fans, or you got good fans and you got not so good,
Right.
and that's just the way it is. And I even remember, I can recall back when the Bulldogs, when they played Auburn, and I
Mm.
went to the game, man, and after the game, a couple of cats got to hitting. It just
Hmm.
how it go, Brad. You say one
Yeah.
thing
Yeah.
here and there, man, and somebody
Yeah.
say something you don't really like, or just kind of,
Yeah.
it just get to the point to where, how can I put it? They keep testing you, and next thing you know, you setting it off. So,
You said it.
and I
Yeah.
know you and I both have been in
Hmm.
situation with
Yeah.
fans, even like if you
Yeah.
go on to Applebee's or getting place
Right.
where just you know get on the ruffle your feathers a little bit. I remember I was at Wild Wing Cafe one time, that
Mm.
Georgia Alabama game, and this guy, emotions were high. And this
Hmm.
one Alabama dude fan,
Hmm.
he just rubbing it in, and just talking all kind of shit. And
Hmm.
yeah, man, he ruffled my feathers a little bit. I want to pour a
Yeah.
drink on
Yeah.
his head. So
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Right. And
so
everybody
yeah,
would have
so
joined in with you. Yeah. But
yeah,
you
yeah.
gotta.
So, but I
Yeah.
get it. I get it. I understand. But at the end of the day, there should be some kind of fans conduct.
Yeah,
Um,
you got to know how to conduct yourself, man.
right.
You just there's no excuse for that. I mean, I think of all the fans that we have in the state of Georgia, I think the the Bulldog football fans are the most passionate. They are the most passionate out of all the fans we have. I think Falcons, we there, but I think that the Bulldogs, man, they just when it comes to a fever pitch. If you got one fan base that's like, well, you might want to cool out because look, that segment of our fan, I don't condone it, but they may swing on you. So so I don't
Yeah.
condone it at
Well, I
all.
mean, the Bulldogs.
I don't
You're
condone it at
right. There's
all.
like
But
there's two. Is either when Georgia play Alabama, or if Georgia
mhm.
plays. I don't know. Florida's been kind of tame, I
They've
think,
been
but
tame lately because we've been winning. So,
yeah, been tame. It's been tame, but I definitely know, and I think now probably Texas, but I'm gonna say Alabama or Texas. I think those two, it can get
yeah.
kind of heated. It can get a little heated.
Yeah, yeah, it get a little heated, man. But you just gotta, alcohol or not, you gotta, you gotta keep your cool about you. I mean, yeah, we can talk some smack all day, but you gotta know when to say when, especially being grown people. You got to set the
I agree.
example.
I agree.
So let's move on, man. Let's talk World Cup, man. That's why we here. World Cup is in Atlanta. We are ready. I'm watching the news every morning. That's what retirement folk do. We sit in bed and watch the news a little bit longer than the normal person. so, so, we're ready. We're excited, man. We're excited for World Cup here in Atlanta, and we just don't know what to do. And so we're going to be out and about, or not. But we want to make everything safe. And that's just kind of where we are. I think our transit system, MARTA's been having some problems. But from my understanding, they're going to double and triple up on the security that they normally have for about a couple of weeks in partnership with APD to make sure because they've been just just crazy incidences that normally don't happen around there, and it's just been off the chain. It's like I don't know what it is, but but people have been just crazier than normal. But it should be safe enough by the time, uh, because now it's a federal thing now, and so so now. With World Cup coming in and the feds coming in, you're gonna have undercover feds everybody's going to be in to kind of make sure that everything is safe in Atlanta, at least for the next 2.5 weeks or so. And so
Yeah, yeah,
Marta's, yeah.
yeah. Like I was saying, I think what I said on the last show. I think the real issue is not all, but it's just some homeless people. I think that's
Hmm.
really what it comes down to because there's a good bit of homeless people that get on MARTA.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, there's some that get on there that may not be in the best emotional state or mental state.
Yeah, mental state. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, they're not in the best mental state, and I think that's what the big issue is
yeah,
even if you know you notice like even and it's usually that's a problem in any large city, even like in New York or
yeah.
in the subway. This guy was on there and all of a sudden I don't know what happened. He just gets up and he just starts stabbing somebody, and that person died. But I'm just
Mm,
saying things like that. You for no reason.
yep.
Just because you who knows, right? We don't know
Yeah.
because
Who
you don't know
knows?
the state. You know the state of that person mentally. So
Right.
so yeah, man. So that's I think that's one of the big part of the issue.
Right.
And I think it's maybe an easy
Yeah.
solution to it is being able to like the being able, like you said, have people on the train, monitoring the train, and you kind of generally you can kind of engage and know if someone's coming on there that's kind of maybe acting, let's just say a little weird. You tend to notice in most cases. Sometimes maybe not, but I think in most cases you tend to know which one. At least I know for me, the last time I was on the MARTA train, there was someone on there that kept blurting out loud, just talking out loud and saying all kind of profanity. You know, I I knew then I'm like, yeah, something's not right with this person.
Yep. 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 Yeah. So you just kind of got to keep your wits about you if you take a martyr. I mean, like I said, I always sit next to the door with my back against it and close to the door. I want to see everything and everybody if possible. So that's kind of my little routine thing that I do when I go. I don't want anybody behind me. But I can help it.
Yeah,
But
no,
look, man,
I agree
look,
with you. Yeah.
yeah. So let's talk World Cup, man. Let's talk World Cup. And things to know, Hover. Hover, you got to tell us what we need to know, man, about football. So what's some simple things, Hover, that we can carry on that we need to know to get prepared for World Cup 26?
Well, I think the first the first thing that is to understand. I mean, the rules of the game, right? So you kind of want to kind of get a little understanding of the rules of the game. How what's offsides, what's most cases a penalty. You can kind of see if that what's happening with that action. But kind of just understanding the rules. Of course, the game there is not like American football where coaches just call timeout and call a play.
Mhm. Yeah.
The
Stoppage.
game, yeah, there's no stoppage. From time to time um, they will have like a cool down break or a water break. Let's just say a water break, cool down for the players. But the clock, the clock doesn't stop, right? That doesn't mean that the play clock is going to stop. Even if the players on the sidelines having a water break, that clock is still running. So that's probably one of the things to be kind of to be wary about as
Yeah.
far as the
Hmm.
game itself, understanding the flow of the game.
Hmm.
It's
Yeah,
definitely
yeah.
not American. It's not American football. No, no stoppage. So let's start
Football.
with that.
So that that part is football. It's football. So I mean, if anything American related to football, you got to call it American football, and just call it OTAs because that's all they're doing anyway is OTAs right now anyway. So 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 we ain't even talking about American football. So if we saying football, you got to automatically know what we're talking about. It's gonna be from June 11th to June 19th, and we got games that's gonna be played all over North America. 16 cities across the U.S., Canada, and Mexico. New York, LA, Atlanta, the ATL, Miami, San Francisco, Boston, Houston, Dallas, Kansas City, and Seattle. I think I got most of the American cities there. And you can watch it on Fox, Telemundo, and Peacock. Format, Hover, is 12 groups of 4 teams. We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna, but I'm just giving it quick and dirty for people. Top two in each group plus the 8 best third place teams will advance to the round of 32, which is called a knockout stage. All right. So 32, they're gonna boil down to 32 teams. Over 100 now, but it's gonna boil down to the 32 teams, just like basketball, football, American football. You're gonna have 32 teams, 32 countries, best of the best in that knockout stage. And of course USA with automatic qualification that's being one of the co-hosts here. Simple rules. Hope I already went over some simple rules for everybody. Uh, in terms of time, there are two 45-minute halves, 90. But there's extra time if there's a tie. There's extra time put on the clock. There's also stoppage time. Hova talked about. And a lot of times, like you said, there are no timeouts. And so if people got
Yeah,
to take a break or something like that, then they, whatever time it took for that injury break or whatever break it is, 6 minutes, they add 6 minutes to the 90, which is 96 minutes. So once it passed that, a lot of times they kind of calculate it on TV for you, which is the technology part that you've seen the past couple of years. And so the TV kind of calculates, okay, looks like they spent this amount of time. So they've spent altogether 6 minutes. So we're going to add 6 minutes to the 90 minutes or 6 minutes to the end when the clock, at the end of the 90 to 45, the second half of the 45 minutes. And so it'll say 91, 92, and it start counting 93 up to 96 unless there's more stoppage time, and then they'll add on to that stuff. Hope you had something to add to that?
yeah. I mean, I think you pretty much explained it pretty good. Yeah, definitely. I mean, any like I mentioned earlier, water breaks. If it's 2 minutes, that's added. It's at the end of each half, and
Mm-hmm.
blah blah blah. So yeah, that's pretty much how it works.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no, the main thing to understand, there's no timeouts.
No time. That's
Um,
awesome. So I wanted to talk about ties. And so in the group stage, ties are allowed, or they call them draws. All right, it's a rule of draw. They'll even have extra time, but if it is what it is, it's a draw. And so, but no draws or allow extra time in terms of the knockout stage. That's not allowed. Somebody got to win. That's what I love about it. You're going to sudden death. You put extra time on the clock. Extra time don't do it. You're going to penalty kicks. And that's very exciting when they go into penalty kicks. If you've never seen it before, everybody takes a shot at the goal. You get about 5 shots at it. You get your best strikers, and then they go up and do the best they can to get the ball through the hoop. And the thing about the goalie, that's where your goalie really earns his pay because he really has to anticipate, kind of where it's going and make a commitment and hoping that the guy kicking the ball, which is the attacker, ain't bluffing. And so it's a real cat and mouse game when it goes into penalty kicks, which I'm quite sure will when the knockout stage starts, we're gonna see a lot of that. So I love penalties, unless it's my team, then I'm nervous as hell. So
yeah, I
I
agree.
love
I
that part
agree.
about it. But you don't want ties if you're the US. We'll talk about that later on. If you're the US, you want to win outright. We want the U.S. to be good, to advance, and you want to perform well in the group stage. So, I think, uh, you just don't want ties. You don't want losses. Number one, you don't want losses. Number one, so a tie, a draw is better than a loss, but you want to win. So that's one thing you want to talk about. Offsides. Hova talked about offsides before. Basically, the guy with the ball is the attacker. He can't be behind the last defender when the pass is made. So it's kind of like a fast break. And so if it's a fast, think about it in basketball like a fast break. And if a defender is, you can't be past the defender. The defender kind of has to be in front of you in order for it to be good and for you to take the shot. So that's one thing, because that's the hardest thing. But I think they're going to have video over in this video. What do you call it? Video replay, VR,
Yeah.
which is another piece of technology that's been added to soccer that they didn't have like 20 or 30 years ago, to where they can automatically tell if it's offside. You don't have to spend like 5 minutes,
Right.
discussing it and
Right.
everybody looking at it and all. Like, man, was he or was he not? It was real close. It was bang, bang. And so
Right.
this time they're going to have VR video replay to really help speed up that process.
Hmm.
Another thing about penalties, uh, you think about soccer, it's not a collision sport like football or maybe hockey, but it is a contact sport. You can't touch the ball obviously with your hand. You can
Right.
touch it with your head, any part of your body, your feet, your knees, all that, but you can't touch it with your hands. That's a penalty, for the other team. And so they get a penalty kick for that. If you do that, it means that basically you get your best striker and he takes his best shot at the goal. You don't want that.
Right.
So you
Right.
gotta keep with those penalties. Also, you don't want. I mean, you get called for excessive pushing, maybe clipping, that kind of a thing. I mean, there are a lot of takedowns. For me, it's real hard to kind of distinguish what's a legal takedown, because you can take down a player as
Hmm.
a legal move of defending, but you can't really just be excessive and clip the guy. I have the hardest time over kind of distinguishing between the two, and sometimes the refs do too, and they kind of look at it and, wait a minute, man, that was a
Yeah.
regular take. No, it was not. It was excessive. So that's
Yeah.
the toughest thing for me to kind of figure out. And so with penalties, the last part about it is, if it is something that's excessive, you get a yellow card. It's called a warning. All right, 2 yellow cards, I think, is an ejection. Get a red card,
Hmm.
it's automatic ejection. All right,
Right.
there's certain no-nos, and when you watch it, you'll know and you'll learn as you go in terms of what that is. People will explain that to you as you go. So usually the commentators are pretty good, at least here, in trying to break it down, and they understand. They have a lot of first, and they have a good job in terms of commentators. Uh, uh, Color commentate like they do for basketball and football and everything else, American football,
Hmm.
to where
Hmm.
guys who are, keep it real light, and then they got other guys who are pretty technical, for those who really understand the game.
Right.
Anything to add to that whole that was just a real quick overview. We'll put this on the Bread and Whole Facebook page, Facebook group page, if everybody wants a quick cheat sheet. Anything to add to that, Hova?
No, I think we got a pretty good cheat sheet.
Woo, woo. So I want to do two things, man. Uh, and I don't know if you hit that summary of teams down there on the notes over. If you click that, then something should come up in terms of what I kind of really want to talk about a little bit. I'm not going to go over all of it. We'll probably talk about it, some of it next week. But while Hova's looking that up, real quick, guys, if you want to know what teams to look for and why, that kind of a thing, here's top 10 of some of the top 10 teams that are favorites, or to be strong. Not necessarily, maybe they, favorites to maybe win, maybe not. But here are some of the favorites that you may want to keep your eye on outside of the U.S. You got France. We're gonna talk about, and we're gonna talk about these teams a little bit more in depth in a few minutes. Just some of them, not all of them. France, Spain. They were the 2024 champions. England's number three. They had a perfect qualifying run. Portugal, Cristiano Ronaldo. You got to be living up on the rock not to know that name, but he is 41 years old. You got Germany, number six, pretty balanced squad. Brazil is always in the mix. They always historically a strong contender. Hoping they got it together this year. Argentina, reigning champs. You know, everybody knows Lionel Messi. And he's in his late 30s, so he's getting up there, hoping that he's healthy entering the tournament. You got the Netherlands at number eight, strong defensive team, good midfielders. Norway at number nine, Turkey at 10. Sliding on down to 18, Hover, we got Colombia. And then at number 22, we got the good old USA. Yeah,
uh,
Hove, were you able to pull that link up?
yep, I got it.
All right, this is what I want to do, man. We're gonna go over some of these teams, man, and you can follow along and then just jump in and talk about this stuff. These World Cup squads, man, and Group D. That's the USA. So with the USA, we will be in Group D if you're following USA and that's your team. If you're like me, I have two teams, and so I, I always I'm USA by default. Uh, Go USA. But normally I go with Brazil. I've been following them since just for a long time, but lately the past couple of years, I've been following France too. And we're gonna talk about France and Mbappe and all those guys. But in USA in our group is us, Paraguay. We play them on Friday night, Turkey and Australia. Um, and the US, we expected to make a run through the tournament, although there's not much precedent for the US doing so. They said this might be one of the best teams that we've had so far. We won exactly one World Cup knockout match in our entire history. But the pressure is on to kind of inspire the nation this summer to kind of do something different with all the games being here. The U.S. national men's team, they've had some mixed results over Pochettino, who led the team a strong run and results in the fall. But the U.S. has also struggled over the Argentine, losing both games of the CONCACAF Nations League last year and falling short in the spring friendlies against Belgium and Portugal. So our key players is Christian Pulisic, Chris Richards, and Tyler Adams. Hover, what you got, man?
Yeah, I mean, I think in the USA group, I think yeah, I think they definitely got a chance to make a run. Maybe I don't know. Paraguay, they usually a team too. Um, so I don't think it's gonna be easy, but I like USA chances. I think
Yeah,
they can be on top in this.
yeah, yeah. I think we get out of group play. Um, so I think we got a group play, maybe 2-0-1, something like that, hopefully. Paraguay, we played. That's our first game Friday. Paraguay, they're making their first appearance at a World Cup since 2010, and it should be a difficult, opponent, to break down for anybody.
It's
So
gonna
this
be
team's
interesting though with Miguel
mhm,
Amaron.
Miguel Almiron is an Atlanta United player. Um, Julio Cisco and Diego Gomez is two of their other main players. And they conceded just 10 times in 18 South American qualifiers, tied for second in for best defense. But they can't score. So, so, so
Yeah,
their
yeah,
defense was called, but they have problems scoring. So that's you know. But we'll see. U.S. I don't know, man. We should win this game against Paraguay. Maybe I don't know. We should win this game.
yeah.
But we
We
probably end
should.
up tying. We're gonna end up tying against Australia, probably. I don't know. And beat Turkey.
Yeah,
That.
like I said, yeah, we should, but we'll see. We'll see.
We'll see, man. Just real quick, Spain, man, main players, Jamal, Pedri, and Rodri. They're one of the favorites to win the 2026 Cup 16 years after they won the 2020 tournament. And they got a lot of things to prove, falling around 16 and 2022. So we're waiting to see what they have with some of their stars, man. They got an all-star group, Hover. What you think about Spain in Group H?
Yeah, man. Spain is going to be tough, no doubt about that. But I think in Group H, I think I think Uruguay might give them a
Mm-hmm.
little bit of trouble. You know,
Mm-hmm. I
they
agree.
most South American football teams are pretty tough.
Tough, man.
I don't think they have anything to worry about with Cape Verde and Saudi Arabia. But
Mm-hmm.
Uruguay is definitely, I think, it's going to be tough for them.
Good point, Hover. Good point. All right, man. Group I, man. This is my other group. So France. So look, man, one of the favorites to win it. I'm rolling with France. Not saying they're gonna win, but I'm gonna roll with them this year. How good is their attack, man? They got some elite strikers. Got an elite team, man. So you got Kylian Mbappe, one of the world's biggest stars, man. You got Usman Dembele, the reigning Ballon d'Or winner. One of the main players in Paris, man. For the SG, what is it? Paris's Saint
Yeah,
Germain. Yeah,
PSG.
PSG. Yes, sir. They just won. So there's also Michael Lemise. He's starting the right wing. Had 15 goals and 19 assists, man. So they just got a loaded team, man. With loaded. Just think of an all-star squad, and think of think of AFC All Pro squad. That's France. Pro Bowl squad.
Yeah,
That's France.
yeah,
So like we said, man, other players other than Kylian Mbappe, man, Ousmane Dembele, and you got William Saliba. So and they got other players too, man. I mean, just everybody. I mean, they got guys from Manchester City, man. They Premier League players everywhere, man. They just if the back line and the goalkeeper on their game, man. If that defense is tight, whew, whew, man, this
I
gonna
will.
be good, man.
Yeah, man, I will say their group is going to be very interesting though because I don't know so much about Iraq. I don't think Iraq going to really be an
Yeah,
issue. But Norway and Senegal, I think they
yeah.
may give them a
Se- Se-
run.
Senegal's gonna give.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say yeah, both of them. Where I'll start with Senegal, Sadio Mane, he's
Yes, sir.
good.
Yes,
Sadio
sir.
Mane is good, man. He's gonna
Half
be a
that team
problem.
from half that team from France.
I know.
If you look
Yeah,
up half of Senegal's team is from France. All the stars they got, a lot of those guys grew up in France by way of parts of Africa. Of course, you know how they go. But
I got you.
but
Yeah,
but
yeah,
but they come from there. But they go to these what do they call them these academies, and they grow up in these academies in France, and they just learn the game, man. They just all stars, man. So it's just a great
yeah.
program.
But yeah, man, Senegal is gonna be a problem. Norway is gonna be a problem too.
Yep,
Those
yep.
both, like I said, man. Yeah, I mean, I could definitely see France. They got PSG, and they got
Hmm.
they're loaded. They're loaded, no doubt about that. Um, but I will just say they can't underestimate their competition with
No,
these two.
uh,
I could tell you
no,
that. In other
they
words, they can't
cannot.
take them lightly. They can't take them lightly.
They right. You yeah, right, exactly. You can't win the game before you play the game.
Exactly. I
So
mean,
they got to keep they got
they're
to keep
gonna
their
be the
heels.
favorite. They're gonna be the favorite in every game. But like no, I mean,
But
there's
I
no
mean,
question they're gonna
but
be.
if they lose, if they have a blip, it would be Senegal. If they
I
have a
I would
blip,
I, I would agree. I would agree with that. If they have a blip, I could definitely say if I out of the two, I would say yeah, Senegal. I agree with you.
yeah,
I agree.
it would be Senegal. So look, man, real quick with Portugal in Group K, everybody knows about Cristiano Ronaldo, Nuno Mendes, Vitna. So they got a loaded team, man. So what you think about Portugal up in Group K, along with Group K? You know who's in Group K? Oh, we also got Colombia in Group K.
Yeah,
Luis
yeah,
Diaz,
yeah,
Suarez,
yeah,
Munoz. What you
yeah.
got to say about that, Hope?
Yeah, man. Group K is gonna be very interesting. I think. I mean, if you really look at, I mean, for me, Colombia, not because I'm just all Colombia, but between Colombia and Portugal, they're gonna be. It's gonna be one of those two. Um, from what I can see, I'm not
Mm-hmm.
really. I mean, I don't know about the DR Congo.
Mm-mm, me
Um,
neither.
and I definitely don't know about Uzbekistan. I don't know anything about them.
Me neither.
But you never know. But I mean, I think as long as they don't take these opponents lightly, I think it's going to come down
Mm-hmm.
between Colombia and
Yeah.
Portugal. And I'm just going to go out on a limb. I mean, Portugal is definitely the favorite in this group, no doubt about that. But
Mm-hmm.
I think Colombia. I don't know. I just got a feeling they're gonna give them all. They're gonna give them a run for their money, man.
You,
I'm
you,
pulling
you,
for them.
I know. You better go for him. So, you got, see what your man James Rodriguez is gonna do, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I
So,
think,
so,
yeah. But
you know,
it's gonna be interesting, man. Very interesting to see and let's see. Yeah, these two teams they don't play each other until the 27th. So,
okay, okay. Well, hey, ooh, man,
which is that's
that's
gonna
gonna be
be
a
a big
load.
one on Fox. Yeah.
It's gonna be a big one. It's gonna be huge. Look, man, we got Brazil in Group C this year. It's been 24 years since Brazil winning its team in the World Cup history took the home trophy, man. It's been quite some time. Been a lot of expectations, but they've been falling short, man. Can't play no defense. They struggled through the qualifying. They haven't inspired confidence with a lot of their recent displays and games lately. Although Neymar, was included on the roster, he finally let him on, man. But they've been having their situations and their problems lately, man. So they've been trying. It's still a talented team. They can make a lot of plays. They're always known for their strikers and they're high skilled in trying to get the ball into the net, man. But unless they can play some defense, over, I don't really see in them, being a huge. I think they get to the knockout round, but I don't think they'll be a huge threat unless they all of a sudden find a way to have some balance and play some defense.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, uh, they yeah. I would have to say the thing about it is that most of if you, I'm just kind of just going through looking at all the different groups. I think one of the interesting one, um, going back, here we go. Yeah, looking at, I tell you, man, that group F, that one is going to be very interesting. I can see matter of fact, all four of those teams going to be going at it in that one. Netherlands, Japan, Sweden, Tunisia. Even Tunisia is pretty good. Can you hear me, Bird? Hello? Hello? I can't hear you. Can you hear me? Okay. Looks like Brad having some technical difficulties, so we'll keep it moving. Um, yeah, so I guess at this point of the we're gonna go ahead and I'll go ahead and bring Lou on real quick. Hey Lou.
I'm here. I'm here. All
Hey,
right.
what's up, man? Hey, so
Well, group.
what's your yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, I can't really say group. The group we're in Group D doesn't want to be too heavy, so I think we can come out with a decent record in pool play here. I mean, a lot of people are underestimating us, the competition, but I think with our group we have a pretty good chance of making it to at least the first round of the knockout stage.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that assessment. I think hello, it's like Brett.
Yeah, you guys, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, I just heard you
Yeah,
come
you.
back on. Yeah.
All right, great. You guys go ahead. Go ahead. I'll jump in. What's up, Luke?
Yeah, Lou.
Right. Of course, Mexico is going to ruin Group A. I mean, that's the top right there.
Well, Group A, you know, you're right. I mean, I don't really, maybe South Korea, maybe. Um,
I doubt South Korea. They don't look as strong to me.
Yeah. 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 So yeah, Mexico. I mean, they got some superstars. Raul Jimenez. You know who he is. And so
Mexico, Argentina, all the big ones.
yeah.
yeah,
So I mean,
yeah,
I don't know. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Mexico, U.S. They kind of the same. They've been kind of shoulder to shoulder in
Yes.
terms of competition and kind of their worth. And so, you know, they they're like the same. They're like twins.
Mm.
you know,
Yeah.
they-
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
fairly
They
they're,
were separated at birth.
they're fairly competitive, I guess. But they're not a real big threat by the time they get to the knockout rounds.
Right.
And so yeah, they should get to the knockout rounds. But once they get to the knockout rounds, all bets are off.
yeah.
Oh,
This is true.
absolutely.
You're right about that, Brad. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So did you guys talk about England yet in Group L?
You know what? We didn't get a chance to get to that. Yeah, group. So in Group L,
Oh.
I mean England. So I mean in Group L, you got the. Let me go back here to it. So you got there we go. Croatia, England, Ghana, and Panama.
Ooh,
Um,
I watch out for Panama.
Panama is interesting. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, interesting
I
group.
don't know, man. I just think England and Croatia is going to be the two favorites in that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Croatia,
Yeah.
huh? Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm thinking England, Croatia. Yeah. Definitely England.
Okay.
They should run away with it. I mean, I don't think it's in Croatia. You know, it'd be fairly competitive. It'd be fairly competitive.
Yeah.
Yeah, they will. Um, what about the last one, Hope, is did you talk about Group E with Germany? You
No,
know,
we hadn't got. Yeah, we didn't get to that
they
Ger-
won
yet.
their
Germany
last
is out.
title. They won their last title, I think in 2014. And they were knocked out in group stage in 2018 and 2022. So they're really trying to make some kind of comeback, and really find a way to score. When need be. So
Yeah,
I
I
don't
think
know. I mean,
Germany. I mean, Ecuador is a good
Yeah.
team. I don't know about
right?
much about Ivory Coast and Carousel, but I think they're gonna have a. They're gonna
Yeah,
have to. Ecuador is not going to be easy for them.
Right, right. I think Ecuador is going to be a little tough for them. I agree. It'll be a little tough for
Yeah, no question about that.
them. Yeah. So guys, here's the big question. Here's the $1,000 question, man. So,
Just 1,000.
$1,000 question. So, what teams you're watching? Who's going to? What teams you're pulling for, and what team's going to win?
Hmm.
I'll start with. Well, I start with Hova.
Well, I'm gonna. Oh man. Of course, my heart says Colombia, but I think Spain. I think Spain is going to be the team.
Yeah.
Yep. Um, Lou, who do you have?
The rain Spain.
You have Spain.
Yep.
Yep. So I'm gonna always, U.S. not gonna win, but I'm happy
Oh,
when they
oh,
win.
No.
oh,
No, they're
oh.
not.
Be nice if we did, but
Yeah, I think the U.S. Gets to the knockout stage. We'll see how good they are. It would be great to see them win a game in the knockout stage, man. It would be
yeah, it
great.
would be.
So I'm pulling for them to do that. But I'm trying to be realistic too. This is not a national championship team or world
Right.
championship team. It's just not. We don't
No, it
have the
isn't.
firepower. So until we get to that point, it's another discussion we'll talk about. We talk about it every year. We talk about it later on in terms of why we are not a national power. I mean, a world power. But
No.
I go for U.S. to win every game, but they're not winning it all. But I'm going with France, guys. I'm going with France this year. So
Okay, okay.
yeah, I think I went with France last time. I'm going to go with France again. So I'm gonna put Brazil on ice for a minute, and I'm gonna stick with France. I've been with France for I don't know past I don't know. I went with France last time, so since
Yeah, you did.
Mbappe's been there, I've been with France since Mbappe was there. How about that? So that's probably one of my favorite players that's out there. They guys got a good style of play, man. He's real control of the game. Like to see him play. So all right, we got Spain, and I got to be the lone French guy, the lone French guy. That's okay. That's okay. I
Mhm.
can take it. All right, guys, let's move on to basketball talk, man. Let's move on to some
Yeah.
basketball talk, man. We got Spurs and Knicks. Spurs game one. Bad game by both of them, but Knicks found a way to win that game. Game two, Wimby
Yeah.
fumbled it up at the end. You make that. You didn't. You make the pass like you're supposed to, or you make the shot, you're up 2-1, but you didn't. But you come back in game three, man. I call it the POTUS effect. And you and real talk, they had good defense. This is what I
Yeah.
said last week. I'm like, look, the Spurs in game two looked like they found something out in game two. They played a much better game. The defense was much better. And they found something. Even though they did not win, they found something out. In game three, you found out what that was. They got their defense together. Cat disappeared in the fourth quarter. And they just found it out. They figured it
Mhm.
out. And so now we here we are in game four. And just like they figured it out in game three, this team continuously gets better. The more games they play, the better they are. They are very comfortable in their own basketball skin. So,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, that's what I got. So anything can happen. I mean, I think they're winning big now, man. But anything can happen. You can be up,
yeah,
and by the time the fourth quarter happens, it's a tie ball game.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, they're winning by almost 20, yeah,
25.
25 points. So
Hmm.
I mean, this team has come back before being down, 20 some points. Plus, you got two more quarters, so I don't think
I don't know about
it's
this one.
I I don't
They
think
give him a
this is
call from
over.
beyond.
Say it again, Lou.
Yeah,
They're giving it all to Wimby honor.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Here's what I'm saying right now, and hopefully, my evaluation of this game is Jalen Brunson. He's he's not. I don't know if the because the Spurs have figured out how to play defense against him, and it's frustrated him. But he's not playing his game. They've taken the point guard out of the situation to where
Yeah. Yeah.
the Knicks look like any other average team,
Well,
and I don't think the Spurs doing anything special, but they definitely have
uh,
taken Brunson out of his game, man.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's the big difference that I see. So
Yeah.
he's out of his game, and then what's his name, Cat? He's not playing like he should be playing.
Yeah.
I don't know, Brad. It just seemed like to me. I
Yeah.
don't know if this team is. I just feel like when they're at home, they usually play pretty good. But it just seemed like to me. I don't know if it's. Do you think the stage has just gotten too big?
No, I
Is
think they do
is
it.
that what it is, or is it? Is it?
I mean, that could be a little part of it. I mean,
Maybe.
it's New York, biggest city in the world, and you got passionate fans that are basketball fans, a basketball city, and
Or
so
is the Knicks or the Knicks or
baseball.
the Knicks or the Knicks buying their own drink, buying their own hype,
No, no, no.
drinking too much of their own Kool-Aid.
Maybe.
No, I don't think
Yeah,
that.
yeah, lose.
I think the Knicks are just fine. I think they're discombobulated because the Spurs have an excellent defense. They've been playing defense like this all through the
Yeah.
playoffs.
Too good.
They're very, very, very disciplined defensively, very physical. And the Knicks aren't used to somebody giving it back to them. Look, if you think about it, the Knicks has been the most physical team on the East side, running through everybody, literally. And so now you got a team that's actually punching back. Now they got to punch back. It's a little different. And you're putting Brunson, making him play hero ball.
Yeah.
And so if he's playing hero ball, what's going on with Josh Hart? What's going on with all these other players, these other role players that have been big, and you're taking them out of the game? So he can score. He can score 40 points if you want to, but as long as all these other guys aren't showing up and Cat continues to disappear in the fourth quarter, they're going to lose by 20 or 30. That's what they want them to do. And they're making Brunson work. You have to make him work defensively. You have to go at him. And that's what the Hawks did. The Hawks were the only team to do that. Philly didn't do it. Cleveland
But that's
didn't
what it.
do it.
But that's what it looks like to me. It looks like I mean, from what my evaluation of watching the game, it looks like to me the Spurs coach did his homework.
Oh,
And he
yeah.
figured out
Yes.
he did his homework. He figured out, okay, if I can take their point guard out of the game, we got a chance to beat them. And he's
Yeah.
right. And he's
Yeah.
absolutely
Yeah.
right.
Absolutely right.
I mean, I don't mean to make it sound easy, but because the only reason why I say that, Brad, because if you look at the first two games when they played in San Antonio, he didn't do that. He let Brunson just go out there and just do his thing.
Yeah.
They didn't triple and double. I mean, they've been putting all kind of
Give them different looks, man. They've been putting
different looks.
And look, man, you got young boys between Castle and Vassell. They can run all day. And then come back on the other end of the court and make you play defense. If you don't play defense, they go into the line. That's what they should have been doing. And so they've been doing this to everybody. Just like, and so they're doing the same thing to the Knicks that they did to OKC. And OKC plays really good team ball, really good, very, very close to the Knicks. And so if you look at it, San Antonio was more prepared for the Knicks than the Knicks were prepared for San Antonio. And Wemby got a lot to do with it. That's the elephant in the room.
He does.
He's got a lot to do with it. And he wants to win. Look at it. Look, guys, he has a will. I don't know. I mean, New York can still win this thing, but San Antonio is going to make them earn it. This guy has a will to win. This is one of the great players, man. Look, this is kind of like I mean, you've seen it. We've seen the Magics and Kareems and the Jordans and all these other the Kobe's, and they all had this it factor where they had to win the game. They have to win. They don't. They need to win. It ain't like,
Yeah.
yeah, we can win. You know, when we hot. No, this guy, he takes it seriously. He wants to win today. He thinks they can. He knows they can win. That's confidence. And you got a 7'3" guy that's putting himself on the line every minute of the game. That's a problem. That's a huge problem. And
I would tell you, I would tell you this: if the Knicks lose 2 games at home, man, I got to roll with the Spurs. I think,
I think they're all going to.
confidence level, man, is high.
Yeah, it's very high.
Yeah.
I mean, I had the Spurs in 7. I still got them in 7, but but they found something. Look, guys, they get better. And Hova, I think you hit on it when you said that the coach found something out. He did. They responded, and now Mike Brown has to hit back. Whatever he can think of, I don't know what he's gonna do. But look, Cat got 6 fouls.
Yeah.
Cat need to be in the game pressing the issue in the 4th quarter. I don't care. He need to be in there. He need to foul. If he got to foul out, he got to foul out. But I ain't sitting him down and he got 4, 5 fouls on the bench. No, send him back out there. Do you? And you got to press the issue. I'm sorry. If I'm Mike Brown, you got to do a better job coaching, sir. So I'm enjoying it. I mean, so far it's been a good series. Been kind of back and forth, and Spurs kind of been whatever. But you know, we'll see what the Knicks have in the second half. They're gonna come back. They're gonna come back in the second half with something. And you know, but when you have to come down from 20 some points down, that takes a lot out of you because that team's gonna punch. Look, San Antonio gonna punch back. They're not gonna just sit there and take it.
I mean,
Nope.
Here's the thing. This game can turn very easily for the Knicks. All they got to do is get on a 10-0 run, 15-0 run. I mean, then you're back in the game, which I see another run in them. I think they're going to do that.
Yeah, they got to run.
It's going to get – they got to run in them. So when that run happens, then that's when it's going to be close, and we'll see what happens. But I think but, you know, like I said, my evaluation of it is – the coach on the Spurs has figured out that he can take Brunson out of the game. They got a chance, and that's basically what's happening.
Yeah.
He's taking that guy out of the game, man. I mean, Brunson is he's not effective.
No. I mean, he's got 19 points so far. But
I mean, he getting points, but what I'm saying is he's turnovers, a lot of inconsistency. Right. That's what I'm getting at. He's very inconsistent tonight.
Yeah, turnovers, not as many assists, not involved.
Yeah, correct. Not as many assists, and I can go on. Right. So yeah, all that goes into why I feel like the Spurs are.
Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to play with. All right. On that note.
Oh, dang, very all right.
Yeah. Halftime. Yeah.
Hey man, real quick though, why DJ Khaled facing all the backlash? Anyway.
I don't know. What did he do? I didn't even know he was. I thought he was a Heat fan. What are you doing up there?
See, there you go. They say he was sitting in one of the expensive seats just on his phone the whole. Anyway, but that's no here, no there.
Well, I mean, at least he's not the president sleeping the whole time in the $30,000 suite.
Yeah, eat French fries.
My bad. I wasn't. My bad.
You say eat French fries, but yeah, man.
Scratch. Let's end on a good note. Luke.
All right, Luke, go ahead and take us out.
All right. Well, as May was a big month, June is a big month in the sports world as well, and this week is no exception on our show. As we'll continue on with the NHL and NBA finals, we'll also recap the Belmont Stakes and the fifth major in golf, also known as the Memorial, so-called the fifth major. We'll recap the men's French Open final. I believe that the UFL has their final game this week, the championship. So we're going to take predictions on that for the 3 people who have any interest in it. Oh, sorry. I had to do that. Yeah, there are a few. Also, college baseball has been the World Series, so we'll take predictions on that because there are people that do follow college baseball. We don't get really much around here, but in some areas it's more popular than others.
Yep.
We just never really caught on to that. And of course, we'll also have our regular features, the ridiculous side of the week, your thoughts and comments, sports trivia, this date in sports history, and the feel good story of the week. I think I just about covered all the bases. So remember, it's 512-543-4662 Saturday from 4 to 6 p.m. Brett, I want to thank you for coming in last week because I was down a bit.
Yes, it's all good.
So it was nice of you to fill in.
Cool, man. Cool beans.
Yeah, hopefully Steve will be back next week, or else may have to call on you. So
no problem. My pleasure.
Remember, we're on Facebook Live, and don't forget to like and share the page as well. On that note, good night.
Thanks a lot, Lou. Appreciate you,
Thanks,
man.
Lou.
Good night. Yes, sir.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Yes, sir. Want to thank everybody for joining the Bread and Hover show tonight. We will be back next week. Same Bread and Hover time, same Bread and Hover day. Until then, speak on it.
Speak on it.